country, I admire the continuous development and prosperity since the very day of independence. My soul will be very proud of those tirelessly and selflessly working political heroes. Thus, I rather vote for best among the possible than choosing NOTA. A glamorous to me to 1.5% here. Honorable Headmaster, Registrar, respected teachers, judges, and all my dear friends. It's sacred Vinay, representing Bijapur House, going to debate against the given topic. Will the introduction of NOTA give starting results in Indian electoral system? My dear opponents, I feel you are oblivious of a famous law of nature, which says something is far better than nothing. Thus, voting for best among the given is far better than choosing NOTA. The analysis of the report also shows that more the number of candidates and rural people in a constituency, more the NOTA votes were counted. This clearly shows that candidates have not wasted their votes. Rather, the poor illiterate and villagers have fallen into the trap of this invalid NOTA. My dear opponents, let me ask you a simple question. Is the innocent voter really rejecting a candidate by choosing NOTA? Let us have a practical example. Imagine a situation where all 649 sitting here chose NOTA, and I alone chose a very criminal candidate who even has murder offences and also is very corrupt. Still, my vote is considered valid. He gets the majority and wins the election. This may look very funny, but this is what the Honorable Supreme Court means on introducing NOTA. My dear opponents, does this make any sense? The fact is that introduction of NOTA is just like wasting the hard-earned money of taxpayers on a useless tool, unless and until the laws are amended. That if a certain percent of voters choose NOTA, then re-elections are to be held with a change in all candidates in that constituency. Till then, NOTA will not have any impact on deciding a winner. And moreover, in a diverse country like India, it takes many decades for a new law to get amended. Even if it happens, it costs very heavily on Indian economy for a re-elections to be held. And even if the re-elections are held, the number of voters will gradually decrease, which is not a good sign for a democratic country. Thus, the Honorable Supreme Court should enforce stringent laws against the criminal candidates contesting for elections rather than giving importance to NOTA. My dear friends, exercising NOTA is as good as not going for voting, because these votes are just counted for the sake of records, and moreover, a common man has to do nothing with these records. He just wants to see India prospering. My dear opponents, I am very sure that you all know less than 2% have actually voted NOTA. I feel this is the biggest example to specify the utter failure of this option. Electoral process is an instrument of representative democracy. It is a process in which people vote to their leaders. NOTA option in its current form clearly does not contribute towards this. My great worthy opponents may say that NOTA empowers the voters, it incentivizes political parties to present any candidate, it increases the number of voters and many other stuff. But the simple provision of NOTA is unlikely to achieve even a single of these goals. It will be a pleasure for me if I have made some sense in the minds of my opponents that introduction of NOTA will never give starting results in Indian electoral system. At last to conclude, NOTA option in India is just like a drug which has crossed its expiry date. It will never be useful, rather harmful sometimes. My dear friends, when you form the habit of searching for positive in every circumstances, your life will move to the highest dimensions. So, you look for the brighter side of every candidate. You vote for this brighter side. And when there is a list of candidates given, don't fool yourself by choosing NOTA. Because NOTA is useful for nothing, it is good for nothing, and also it is invalid. Thus, I take a leave of you. Thank you.
Very good performance. I'd like to tell an interesting fact about